When 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died in Iranian police custody 1 year ago, the Women Life Freedom movement erupted, united young and old men and women, prompting them to take to the streets to fight for freedom from what the UN experts have called a gender apartheid in the country. And while the protests have died down, 1 year later, the fight for equality continues with some signs of progress. ABC News has been following the movement for the past year, talking to the women directly involved who are showing the world that Mahsa now rests in power. We should note many of their identities remain anonymous and their faces have been blurred for their own safety.
1 year ago, 22-year-old Mahsa Amini was detained by the state's morality police for allegedly not wearing her hijab properly. Her death in police custody triggered Iran's longest anti-government protest since the 1979 revolution.
A brutal death of a woman sparked a revolution.
I call upon you to open your eyes in the name of justice.
Women, life, freedom.
I couldn't believe that a woman just got killed for a little bit of her hair was visible.
When the news of Mahsa's death came, I thought I was not myself anymore. I feel another woman was born that day.
This is the story of our life. زن جیان آزادی or زن زندگی آزادی or woman life freedom.
Mahsa became a symbol of resistance.
Conservative President Ibrahim Raisi warned at the start of the protests chaos would not be accepted.
هلا اول روزه که ترمی محسا برو کردستان هاتو بخاک سپیرا جمهوری اسلامی با چکی ساچمه‌ای تیرنازی لخلقك ام قفسه سینم ساچمه‌ای برکوت.
The two women, whose faces were blurring for their safety, decided to flee Iran, traveling by foot, not knowing if they'd make it out alive.
بالله دقيقاً زور بسختي بومنيكا لو شرایطیشا که جمهوری اسلامی کلی مرزکانی بستو من حتی مجبور بوم چند شو شاخه پیاده روی بکم و چند شویش هرب لشاخه بمینمو تا بتوانم لمرز بیمدارم.
همش ترس اینو داشتم که شناسایی شده باشم.
Both women say they were left with no choice but to leave, but say they hope they can return someday to live freely.
میخوایم که خانواده‌مون بیان اینجا. ما باعث خوشحالیمونه که با آزادی سربلندی برای خونایی که دادیم شهیدایی که دادیم برگردیم.
Cannot believe that in 21st century I'm sitting here and I'm talking that I want to have a country where I can choose what I want to wear.
Mahsa Amini, who's been exiled since 2009 due to her reporting on corrupt officials, has been involved with several campaigns against compulsory head covers in the Islamic Republic.
One feminist, this young Kurdish girl, her mother got killed. Minu Majidi, her crime was protesting against the brutal death of Mahsa Amini.
Roya Pirai, the daughter of Minu Majidi, the photo soon becoming a symbol for those who lost their loved ones.
Soon after her photo went viral, it wasn't safe for her. Roya left the country.
We spoke with Roya's sister, Mahsa Pirai. Roya, unable to find the words to speak with us, still mourning the unnecessary loss of her mother.
My older daughter, my mother would go to pick her up from school. She just shouted, "Hi, Grandma. You're the coolest grandma. You're so young. You're beautiful." The morning after my mother has been killed, I just said, "What happened? Tell me what happened." And they said, your mother has been shot and she's in hospital. I just asked them, "Is she alive?" And they said, no, she's dead. We went to the graveyard. I lay down on my mother's grave. So, woman, life, freedom is my mother.
Her mother's legacy continues as the movement rages on. But for those on the ground, the dangers they face are unimaginable. Several women on the ground captured video diaries for ABC News, showing what life is like under the rule of a ruthless regime. This woman detailing her experience in jail.
I was not allowed to have a lawyer either during my arrest, my interrogation, or any other phase of processing my case. The first time I was tortured was when I stepped into the intelligence detention center. They touched my private parts with the pretext of checking if I had drugs.
Iran's top Sunni cleric admitted on social media last December that he'd received reports from prisoners confirming the ongoing sexual assault on female prisoners was spreading, with the intention of humiliating, suppressing, and forcing confessions. Yet there's been no response from the regime and no apparent attempt to stop them.
There are also reports that once the women are in prison, the morality police are raping them, are drugging them. One woman described taking the Plan B pill after she was released. Have you heard similar reports?
Oh yeah, I've been in touch with many women. Khamenei, all the clerics and mullah were telling us that we force you to wear hijab because it's good for your dignity. Now see, the same clerical regime have no dignity, have no morale, and they rape women, sexually harass them in prison.
Some Iranians say the regime's use of sexual violence to instill fear is not working. Raha, whose face we're blurring and whose voice we're not using for her own safety, says the flames of the Women Life Movement revolution are still strong.
Yes, maybe the streets are empty with no more protests, but Iran's revolution, Mahsa's revolution, is powerfully progressing. When I go to my mother's home without a hijab or to my traditional relatives, they cheer me up for fighting for my rights. Each woman who is walking without a hijab anywhere on the streets of Iran, Tehran, or any other city, she is carrying 40 years of fear with her.
Of course, maybe you don't see people in the streets, but revolution have different phases. Believe me, the number of the women who practice their civil disobedience increased.
Mahsa's revolution was actually a renaissance in the Iranian society. The very same family, the very same society which was restricting me, is encouraging me. They cheer me up for fighting for my rights.
پاڵپشتی خەڵکی ئێران بن، پاڵپشتیان بن، پشتیوانیان بن کە بتوانن ئەو ئینقلابە بکەن. چون نەفقەت بە نەفعی ئێرانە، بە نەفعی کولی کشوەرەکانی دەوری ئێرانە.
These days, when I see the girls in the streets with no hijab, I'm really proud.
I am a citizen of this country, and it is my home. I won't be a slave, and I won't be the woman I used to be a year ago.
Compulsory hijab is like the Berlin Wall. If we tear this wall down, the rest will get easier.
Our thanks to those brave women for talking with us.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.